in the industry, most people, let's say they're cybersecurity professionals or IT directors or CIOs, whatever they might be, approach it really with a engineering mind on how to solve this. Can you talk a little bit more about, the approach, like if you were protecting a city, and how does that like into protecting a cybersecurity target?
No, and I think it's a fair commentary you just made, Ephraim, because everybody says that cyber's the fifth domain of warfare, right? So I fought on land, I fought in sea, I jumped out in the air. I've not done the fourth domain, which is outer space, because I'm not Captain Kirk. But when you look at the fifth domain, you want to look at it from the same perspective that I learned a long time ago, which is there are some fundamentals that you would deal in defending a city. Defending a city is called military operations on urban terrain. And it's so much like cybersecurity. Why? Because when you're standing in a window, that window is like a port. When you when you have a street and how you go from address to address, there's so much similarity to combat in an urban terrain than there is in cybersecurity. It's like to me, there's almost no difference. And so when you look at that, it's got to be fought like a war, because I think we're sitting at, I think these guys at Cybersecurity Ventures said that the cost of global cybersecurity is like at $10 to $15 trillion today. I mean, that's like destroying entire civilizations. And especially now with the advent of AI and bots and the ability to buy all these kits that you can buy in the dark web, your cyber systems really, becoming unmanageable. So when you look at how you fight it like a war, the first thing you want to do is, the first thing a commander wants to do is it wants to basically say, okay, if everything, especially in an urban terrain, if everything goes to hell in a handbasket, where's that last building I go to? What do I do? And who do I put there to make sure I'm safe no matter what? And it's called a reserve. From Leonidas to the current Sergeant Snuffy in the Army knows you need a reserve. Before you even get into any kind of defense, especially in a highly asymmetric environment like cyber, which is very similar to military operations on urban terrain, you want to make sure you have a reserve. And when I look at people, they look at me with like kind of the RCA dog you see on the record label, kind of the head kind of cocks, and they're like, well, what do you mean? And I go, well, it means that no matter what's your get out of jail free card, it's like if you're not doing massive data backup and doing backups of your endpoints and doing backups of your data, then you have no reserve. So I tell everybody, go into the fight with a reserve, right?
Yeah.
Because worst case scenario, you can give the proverbial middle finger to the threat and say, I take it, I backed it up already. And that's really. And the other thing that you want to do is, in combat, there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of stuff, boom and bangs going on. And so what you have to be able to do is you have to distill the noise to the right signal. You got to say, this is where I see the threats coming from. See what they're really trying to do is get there, especially, oh, wow, they're going to get on that rooftop. That's 8 stories above me. That's going to give them incredible ability to not only identify movements behind me, but they'll be able to provide plunging fire on top of me. So they're going to try and get some terrain on me. And so what that means is you've got to use those same kind of concepts. You have to understand the process of reducing their ability to get better visibility on you. And you've got to do that. And you're not going to see that visibility of what they're doing unless you get rid of the pure noise in your network. So returning signal to noise is the overall strategy that I employ in any combat scenario, because you want to minimize the number of targets. Like if you allow these guys to get too close to you and you've got your team and trying to engage 30 targets at one time, that's pretty hectic, right? And oh, by the way, that's not good. What you want to use is you want to create a defense in depth so that you're attriting the signal and the noise, or attriting the attack vectors, so that you can only attack one, or you can take shots at 1 or 2 guys at a time. You're going to be far more successful. And so when you think about that, in today's world, we're looking at 66% of attackers will probably use some never before seen technique. So whenever I hear these guys publishing on, well, this is the new attack vector, I always go back to my Ranger instructor, like, hey, Ranger tactics are like armpits. Everybody's got to, and they usually stink. So just the fact that somebody's always going to be evolving and coming back with their idea, their ideas. So it's going to be the good idea fairy. And so don't get caught up in the concept of new attack vectors, because 77% of the people out there are already telling you that greater than 54% of their attacks are never even, they're never even identified. So you have to go back to the basics. And so the first lesson I learned from the first, second, and third domains is a fundamental strategy that most people are missing.